Hello, Amos, Tarfa here with LifeSTEM Academy. Just want to go over some of the curriculum recommendations for the fall in continuing the series that we've started with families at our hybrid school, as well as we've had 5-day students this year, but the hybrid program is our focus. We want to focus on hybrid 2-day-a-week programs to help families get that support in English, math, history, science, or social studies and science. And then on the off days, the students have homework that we give them, things they can work on. For some families, we are the main dish, so to speak, like our homework is the main thing they do at home. For other families, homeschool families, we are the enrichment, or especially in the K3 space, we're the enrichment for that group especially. So let me start with the K3 group quickly, and then I'll come back. I personally am not a fan of grade-based education systems. I believe that students should be taught based on ability, not based on age or grade level, because you could have a 9th grader, for example, who needs to work on pre-algebra, or you could have a 4th grader who's ready for calculus. Both things can happen, and so then the question becomes, if somebody's in 4th grade and we force them into pre-algebra when they're already ready for algebra or algebra 2, then I think we're wasting their time. And part of our goal at our school is redeeming the time. We want to have an efficient education model. So we're moving away from the grade-based traditional system more to where do you fit in your skill set for math, where do you fit for English, especially for those two, and then for science as well. Some people are in 11th grade and they're not ready for physics. They need more time to build their math skills, for example. So I will do another video going over what that looks like, but in general, just expect that if somebody's a non-reader, right, that would be level 1 for English. That means that this will be typically students in kindergarten or those who are a little older, and not just 4, but later, like an older 4-year-old, so to speak. So some of those guys will qualify for our level 1 English program. And so that's the first level, is a English program there. So let's talk about the first level. So the first level, we're looking at non-readers, we're looking at people working on counting, basic addition. And so this math section is pretty straightforward to explain. We go from basic math all the way to calculus. That's how we roll at our school. We call it counting to calculus. So the math program I put together takes you from basic math all the way to calculus. We put you here based on where you test, right? Or how comfortable you are with concepts. So if we have 4 levels, for example, some students here will be working on addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Students here might be working more on fractions, decimals, percents, ratios. Students here might be working on algebra 1, algebra 2. But we basically will put you into the specific group that you'll be comfortable with and grow from. Some of our students use Math Mammoth. We have Singapore Math. People use Singapore Math. Math you see. And then we have pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry, trigonometry, as well as calculus. We give students the chance to CLEP, meaning that when they take college algebra, pre-calc, or calc, they can actually get college credit. Even if you're in 6th grade and you're ready to CLEP, we get you the college credits in 6th or 7th grade. It doesn't matter. We are all about helping people master and keep moving forward. So that's the math path. It's very straightforward. Those who are in the level 1 and 2, so think about elementary school concepts. They're doing general science using J. Wiles, Science in the Beginning, Science in the Ancient World, Science in the Scientific Revolution. That series. We are focusing on Science in the Scientific Revolution right now. That's been the focus for this year, and we'll probably finish that out first before we start Science in the Industrial Revolution or Science in the Age of Reason. So I'll do a recap here in a second. And then social studies, we have geography, we have government and civics, we have U.S. history. U.S. history is the main focus for our middle school, high school next year. And so those who are finishing up elementary school, middle school, or high school, you can expect to be doing U.S. history. We do have a day or a series of days I call curriculum days, where I want to have interactions with families to see, like, do we have a lot of people who are leaning way more to Bob Jones' U.S. history, or people who are leaning more to Nordgrass? We're flexible with those. Now, we're going to do our best to raise the bar. We don't allow any curriculum to limit how far we want to go in learning concepts. And so please know that just because we have a curriculum selected doesn't mean that we think it's the best thing, since sliced bread. I don't know if people still say that. But we will use whatever curriculum we need as a guide for everybody. But then you can always supplement. You can always go above and beyond. Textbooks are just tools. That's all they are. They should never limit how deep or how well students are learning. So U.S. history, though, is the focus. And we have U.S. History CLEP prep that will be built into our US History. Everyone who takes US History can get college credit for it, especially from middle school and high school. So let's do a quick recap. We have at least 4 levels, actually 5 levels. Some of our students here are just going to be doing college courses, and that's fine, college CLEP preparation. So that's fine for that level 5, level 6. That's what happens when you get down the list here. But we have non-readers for English. They will be in level 1. Once you're able to read, you're now in level 2, and these could be elementary school students in 1st or 2nd grade. And then we have IEW, which is the Wonders of Science. That's what we're doing for our 4th and 5th graders. Age-wise, again, this is just an approximation. If a student is not ready, then they will work in level 1 or level 2, depending on where they are. The Good and the Beautiful, by the way, is a good resource for the youngest students who are trying to work on their language arts. So the Good and the Beautiful has a great material there. But for our students who are technically 4th and 5th graders, they will be doing Wonders of Science, for their IEW book, and then they will be doing the Nose Tree Fix It, and then we'll select some literature books for them that will be tied to that US history, because they're also going to be doing some US history. All our students are going to get comfortable with geography, though, US geography, because it doesn't make sense to live in America and not know the 50 states, the capitals, and things like that. They should also know all the presidents. These are things that every LifeSTEM Academy student should know. Every American should know these things, but especially if you attend our school, we expect you to meet a certain standard. It's really sad, but American education, I've said it before, I say it again, a lot of it is really a joke. We play games. We don't focus on helping people learn well. And the data is out there. So many kids who are behind, and sometimes it's the system that doesn't give them the tools to get where they need to get to. Or maybe they haven't mastered principles and we're throwing them into certain concepts. That's not the way to teach people things if they haven't mastered what they need to master. How do they deal with the mastery problem in Nigeria, for example? The way they deal with that is that if you haven't mastered a math sort of class and you get an F, for example, you repeat the whole grade level again, right? We have consequences in Nigeria, and India does the same, and we could go on and on. Many countries have consequences, and somewhere along the line, America has got into this idea of we're not going to impose consequences because we don't want Johnny to feel bad. We don't want Cynthia to feel bad. We need to stop allowing emotions to drive our education system. We need kids to learn well, master concepts before they move on. That's what we need to do. And anyways, that's my 2 cents. Back to, now if you haven't seen it already, I do have a series called Education Revolution, where I go over different concepts and ways to help families help their children flourish. We want every kid to graduate from LifeSTEM. If they stay till 12th grade, we want them to graduate with 60 college credits minimum. That's the minimum. That's the path where they were chilling, taking summers off. If a child comes to us and says, give me the best you have and take me as far as you want me to go in school, we can get you 3 years of your undergraduate degree covered before you graduate 12th grade, or maybe shortly after that. We could get you that if you really mean it, meaning that you only have 1 year to do in a 4-year college to complete your 4-year degree. This is especially the case in chemistry, physics, and math. If you want to go into any of those fields, we will give you a good dose of math and chemistry and physics. So that's my dream. Even if you live in other states, in Texas, in Dallas, wherever you live, you can do this plan. So email me if you're interested. I have a quick note I'm going to mention actually while we're on this at the end of my video. But so we want every student to master the principles they need to master as they go along the journey. We do not judge things based on grade level or age necessarily, especially math and English. We judge it based on your mastery. Where are you? And then we help you. By the way, this summer I have materials students can use to prepare for the fall so that they come fresh and ready to go. We don't want students coming and forgetting their times table, forgetting this, forgetting that. We need students to be keeping up with practice, right? If basketball players don't get the whole summer off, why do math students get the whole summer off? It makes zero sense, right? I've tried to process American education, and I think I've come down to the fact that it just makes no sense. So if you want to flourish in life and you want your children to flourish in life, don't follow the American education system. Actually have a plan for your life, for your child's life. You will finish all the credits for high school. Don't worry about that. That will be done. The more important question is to ask your child, what's your vision for life? How can I help you have a vision for life? We have students who wanted to, for example, shadow in a certain field, and we were able to call a center that is going to explore how they can help that child shadow in a medical field. We need to be doing more of that. Our 6 to 12 graders, they need to be doing job shadowing. They need to be journaling about what they're doing. And once they know what they want to do with their lives, once they realize, I want to become I want to become a computer scientist. I had an 8th grader today ask me, should I be working on coding? And I told them, if you want to be a computer scientist, yes, definitely. So part of his work on Fridays is going to just have to be some computer programming. Get him learning some Python and HTML. That's what we need to be doing with every student in America. That is just the way forward. There is no reason to keep them busy with busy work and not having vision for life. Everyone should have vision for life, and that's really why we exist. Yes, we help you with the English, math, history, and science, but what we want more than that is to help you have direction for life, get you a mentor, get you coaching, get you training, so that you are ahead of the game. Let's say you want to be a doctor. You should really be learning anatomy and digesting more of it, no matter how old you are, wherever you're at. If your parents have good books for you to use, learn some basic anatomy. You're in 7th grade, why don't you learn about the nervous system and learn it well? So these are things that we want to encourage every student to explore. Okay, so that's the English track. It leads to IEW, Fix-It Grammar, and then the literature books from the Nordgrass books is also partly integrated. So in U.S. history, for example, they will read Frederick Douglass. They will read Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington is one of my favorite people in the world, by the way. But anyways, let's stay on task. Math, we have the tools, and we thank God we have the tools. We can help every child, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from. We find where you are, and we try to build from there. Science, we have general science with J. Wiles, Biriam Builders, publishing, and that's going to guide each student. For our high schoolers and middle school high schoolers, for middle schoolers, they're doing general science. We want to spark that interest, that love for learning, that understanding of the history of science, and so they'll be doing more of things like science in the Industrial Revolution or science in the scientific revolution. So that's where our middle schoolers are going to hang out. But those who are ready for high school, they're going to be doing physical science, chemistry, and physics. Physical science, chemistry, and physics. Those are the 3 options for students. I'll tell you a crazy idea. You don't have to try it, but I'll tell you a crazy idea. Do you know you can do physical science, chemistry, and physics at the same time? And do you know that it's actually not a lot of work? Because the first half of the physical science book is actually chemistry. So when you read about the periodic table in your chemistry book, you read it in your physical science book, you're doing the same thing, you're just getting a quick review. Guess what? You're doing both at the same time. When you get to the second half of your physical science book, you could do physics. That's what we did in Nigeria. We did chemistry, physics, and biology at the same time, every single year. So there's nothing wrong with doing multiple sciences. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm just giving you an idea. So again, if you're watching this from Dallas or Houston or Michigan or wherever, you can follow this plan that I'm giving you. This is the best way to basically bypass the low bar of education in America, is by trying to do multiple sciences when you can. I will say this to those who are in public school, because maybe you're watching this in public school. If you're in public school system, and especially to those who have, I think of Nigerians, for example, in America, I really want you to know, just a quick commercial break here. This was what I was going to talk about at the end. I really want people to know, especially Nigerians in America, that the American K-12 system is quite low of a bar to be following. So if you've seen what you've seen in other countries where we're literally covering about 40, 50 credits, 35 to 40 credits, that's what we're getting. And then here in America, people are doing half of that. I think you should explore really homeschooling your kids or finding a private school that will raise the bar. But it's just... Again, there's good teachers in public schools, and thank you for what you do, good teachers in public schools. But our system in America is so broken, we need to throw it away and literally help every child flourish by raising the bar. Look at, well, I don't want to use Japan for this example because some of their schoolwork is a little over the top. But look at India, look at Nigeria, look at France, look at Canada. Some of their education system is much better. But here's the thing, it's not even about raising the bar. This is the other major thing I wanted to say. If the education system that you're in does not acknowledge the one who created the heavens and the earth, then I really think there's a problem there, because no matter what principles we're teaching in biology, we're always going to have to basically say that this was from time and chance. It didn't come from a creator. So I really want to encourage families to think about it. What are you allowing your children to believe about how they came to be and about the universe and about their lives? Their lives have purpose and meaning because they were created in the image of God. And we need our teachers to understand that. Now, people might say in public schools in America, oh, separation in church and state and this, that, and the other. So you tell me that we talk about the circulatory system or the nervous system and its complexities, and we ignore the fact that it was designed or created. I think that's a problem. I think that there's an element of removing the glory of God from the question and the equation. And that's not a good thing, because you are denying the one who gave the ability for that system to be created. So I want to encourage families, especially Nigerians in America, really look at what your children are learning in public school. I've worked with kids from public school and so on and so forth, and I can tell you that even if you have to pay tuition to go to school somewhere else, it is worth it if they are willing to teach the truth. There is no reason you should take free at the expense of your child's mental focus, and at the expense of your child learning that God is the creator of the heavens and the earth. If the schools are not allowed to teach that, I just think you need to be very careful and pay the price somewhere else. It's not worth it. Sometimes free is actually dangerous. Someone once said, the free cheese is a mouse trap. The free cheese is like a mouse trap, basically. And the idea is, oh yeah, this public education is free here, but what are you missing out by going to it, right? That's what you really need to ask. And some people say, well, we supplement at home. Okay, well, make sure you do a lot of that, because honestly, what I see in the college years sometimes is people can't think critically because they've been taught that this is the only way they can think about things. Now, Christians should learn about the theory of evolution. Christians should learn what other people believe. Don't get me wrong, but fundamentally, we have to answer the question, where did you and I come from? What is the meaning of life? Where did the universe come from? And many public schools will never allow the question of a theistic framework. And that's just not true. That's not right. And I think that we need to start challenging our schools in a healthy way. And teachers who are speaking the truth, well done. And teachers who are compromising, I really think you need to rethink what's happening and see how you can share the truth wherever you find yourself. Okay, so that's science. A lot of science discussion there. Chemistry, physical science, and physics are the main science courses for next year. And lastly, we're doing U.S. history as our focus for next year. Thanks for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe. I'll put a document with all these courses and these books as well. Email me if you have any questions. Take care and have a blessed day.